Okay, Kelly.
Oh, great. Thank you so much, Angela. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our first bar talk of April 2021 on this April 5th. I hope everybody is doing well. A little cloudy outside. I hope everybody had a wonderful Easter weekend. The highlight of my weekend was on Saturday. I took my family to paddle the Passagasawake River up in Waldo, Maine. The first Saturday of April is traditionally the Passy River race, canceled this year, unfortunately, but we still got out there, got a little bit of whitewater. First paddle of the season, and it was great fun. And the only person who fell overboard was the dog, and she quickly wanted to get back in the water, get back in the canoe because there was ice along the banks and the water was chilly. Today's bar talk is we're going to be featuring Julia Sheridan, who is the our bar counsel with the board of overseers. Excited to have you here, Julia. As we go through Julia's talk, please offer any questions that you might have for her in chat. We will intersperse them in as appropriate. So, Julia, thank you so much for being here. I was wondering, as you get started, if you could just give, because I think we just decided that this may be the first time you and I have met, and that may be true for others on the call. Would you mind just giving a quick background of how you came to be here as bar counsel? And then I'll let you take it away. Thanks for being here.
Sure. Good morning, Kelly. Thank you very much for having me today. So my background, I started as bar counsel September 1st. Before that, I was a criminal prosecutor in Cumberland County for 26 and a half years. And I did all kinds of work, appeals, post-convictions, jury trials. I prosecuted all kinds of felonies as well as misdemeanors. And before that, I was in private practice when I first started out for about 3.5 years. And I clerked for a judge in New Hampshire after law school. So I've been in practice in the main bar for, a lot longer than I want to admit to myself. I don't know, 30 years or something. So anyway, that's how I came to be here. And it's great. I've been meeting all kinds of new lawyers from all over the state, not new, but new to me, and meeting all kinds of people. It's really been wonderful. And I appreciate this opportunity.
That's a great background. Thank you so much. So let me
So
leave it up to you to launch into the different topics you wanted to cover today.
Sure. I guess the first thing that I want to get to is registration. And I don't know if people are aware, but I'll let you know that the Supreme Judicial Court has extended the deadline to report CLE credits to the board until April 30 at 4:30 p.m. And so what you do is pull up the website of the Board of Overseers of the Bar. I'm looking at that right now on my computer screen. And what you do is you go to My Board Access, which is one of the quick links on the right-hand side. And when you get to My Board Access, you'll log into your account. And when you sign in, you will see that there are attorney services and there's a list of options. And the second one down is called Check CLE Credits. When you click on that link, you should see a list of all the CLEs that you've completed. And this will be for reporting for 2020. Now, there's a second step to take, though. It's not enough to actually look at the list and say, yep, I did all those. You then go back to that options list with attorney services and then go down to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the fifth link down, which is CLE reporting. Click on that link, and then you will see a button that will ask you to submit and verify that you have completed those CLE hours. It's really important to go through that second step because otherwise you're not considered confirmed and sufficiently, accredited with CLEs. So just take that second step. I think that I myself was not aware of the second step until I got here, but that's how you actually do your CLA reporting. So make sure you get to that second step. So yeah,
I've just shared my screen so people can see those two different steps. I had no idea there was a second step. I've never hit the submit button. Fortunately, my assistant is clearly on top of this. because my CLEs have been approved, but you would have a submit button here. Again, check CLE credits is where you get the list of all the credits that you've taken or that have been reported more accurately. And then CLE reporting is where you should have your submit button.
That's right. That's right. And obviously, if people have any problems with that when they're going through the process, please give us a call. And I will direct people to the Board of Overseers of the Bar, just the home screen on our website, and it talks about CLE reporting. So if you're still lacking 2020 credit hours for the year 2020, you can earn those and report them until April 30, 2021. The deadline's at 4:30. Once you're able to do that, so you still can make up time, we would also would remind people that according to our CLE policy, reporting policy, the approved providers report attorney attendance for the programs. They report it directly to the board. So you will probably get a certificate, perhaps a certificate. Don't send that on to the board. We're already getting that information through the providers. They send a roster within 30 days of the program. And then, what you of course can do is, when this process of checking your credits and then taking the second step to submit them, you'll be able to ensure that that information is there.
Julia,
yeah.
If I can just jump in real quick and say that MSBA is one of the approved providers, and we do in fact report credits directly to the Board of Overseers. And if you are in need of credits, try to visit the MSBA page, because we have a lot of programs going on now through the end of April in order for you to get your credits if you don't have enough.
Yes, definitely, Angela. MSBA has outstanding programs. I've been to many of them myself, and they're really just a tremendous resource. I will state that we have been sent out a couple of emails to remind people about updating, submitting their CLE credits. And I've gotten information that as of last Thursday, we still had 3,945 people out of 5,219 who had not submitted their CLE credits. So I think that what I think personally is that one of the issues is this two-step process is maybe a little mysterious for people. I'm hoping that we've clarified that a little bit for people, but spread the word amongst people who weren't here today that, that two-step process will take care of it. I will just point out some other CLEs that are coming up, April 8th and April 29th. Both of those are on the board's website, and I imagine probably at least one of them is at the MSBA website, probably both of them actually. So April 8th is at the Frontiers of Anti-Discrimination Law, Reconciling Social and Legal Issues, Bias and Discrimination. That's sponsored by the MSBA. And then April 29th, Bias in the Jury, and that's sponsored by the MSBA and the Board of Bar Overseers. And those should be really, really outstanding programs. So that takes care of the registration issues. I do want to point out to people also on our website, we have a law office management service that's now available. We have a partnership with Red Cave Law Firm Consulting, and they are offering Maine attorneys a discounted virtual law practice management service, a consulting service. Red Cave has over a decade of experience in law firm business management, consulting experience. They provide a lot of advice to law firms. They're extremely knowledgeable about technology issues, the way these interact with sort of maintaining, growing your practice, clients, communication, clients, issues in terms of, getting yourself out there and finding people. So if you have about marketing, about financial management, so, I think they're a tremendous resource. If you have questions about that, definitely check out that on our website. It's again on the homepage that you'll find. It's the Red Cave Law Firm Consulting Practice. With regard to issues that we have seen come up on the ethics helpline, I just wanted to point out to people, I've gotten several calls about things that involve scams that impact lawyers. These are really, pretty scary, and they're extremely common. There are so many people out there scamming through emails or what have you. What might happen is maybe you'll get, and I've seen an uptick of them with regard to real estate practices, because a broker's email might be hacked, and then they communicate with a law firm, perhaps obtaining, some kind of confidential client information, and then are able to try to get people to wire them money. Again, they're very sophisticated scammers. It's not something that's easily going to jump out at you. I think it's, behooves people, if you get any kind of communication requesting any client information that could be confidential, call the number, or try to find out who the person is, so you make sure that you're actually communicating with the broker or whoever it is you think you're communicating with. When you look at the email, I think probably a lot of people know, if you hover your mouse over an email, you'll get what the email is. Often it's not what it says it is, or it could be just maybe they add another letter or a number or something, so that when you look at it quickly, it looks like a familiar email, but it actually is not. So be mindful of those things. And certainly with regard to wiring money, be very, very careful about that. And, I know that some firms, I think, will tell clients, look, our wire instructions will never change. These are what they are. They will never be anything else. So use these that we give you up front. Don't use anything that comes through an email, because that might, who knows where it's coming from. And these little changes that are meant to help the scammers, the fraudsters commit their fraud, they're difficult to detect. They're very, very sophisticated nowadays. So I would really urge attorneys to be very mindful about what information gets sent out. It's the old-fashioned pick up the phone and confirm who you're talking to is a great, great way to make sure that you're actually dealing with the person you think you're dealing with. So, and once those wires go through, the money gets transferred pretty quickly. And so it can be kind of hard to unravel that.
Julie, if I could just add to that, my firm a year or so ago had an experience where we were actually talking to the supposed client on the phone and exchanging emails with them, and it all looked very legitimate until they asked for a wire that was going out of the country. And so that was a situation where we were independently going to what appeared to be the company's website. We were using the phone numbers on that website. We did all these double checks, but it doesn't take much to set up a website, right? And it can be pretty sophisticated. And they had sent us a check that had not yet cleared, and they were asking us to wire something out. And so it was just a reminder of how sophisticated these scams can become, and to be so cautious, because once you wire the money out, it's gone. You're just taking a loss on that. We actually have looked into insurance to cover us in this type of event. And I would suggest talking to your insurance agent about that as well, and make sure that you describe the situation where it's not that they are somehow hacking into your bank account, but that you are unknowingly, willingly wiring money to a scam, and because it's different kinds of insurance coverage for those two scenarios.
Yeah, well, that's interesting, Kelly, and it's good to know that maybe there is insurance out there to cover that. It's that scenario that you discussed of the check coming in, a client sending a check and then saying, hey, I want this wired out, I need it done really quickly. Lawyers are used to feeling like they have to do whatever their clients want as soon as their clients want it done, because that's part of building your practice and your goodwill. But the problem is, that's where the scam comes in, is that, you don't have time to realize that the check is fraudulent, but then the money's wired out and it's gone. And so, yeah, that's interesting. Well, that's a very good thing to know, that there is perhaps insurance out there to cover these types of scenarios. But, it's unfortunate that scammers find ways to exploit sources of money. And I think they think certainly now in the real estate boom, hey, brokers and lawyers, let's see if we can tap into that as a way of getting some money. So just be mindful of that, and certainly you're responsible for what your staff does in your office. So you want to instruct your staff to be mindful about, who the communication is coming from, who are the people, where is it being wired, where is the check coming from, all those kind of things, to just be careful. I think, it really, as much as your client might be pressuring you for speed and timeliness, accuracy is even more important than that. And it's just going to benefit your client to have this done the right way, so that because there have been situations I've seen where the client has been contacted by the scammer and the client has been the one who has wired money. So, it just protects your client to be accurate, even more than being quick. So be careful of those. We do get, calls from people, other ethics helplines. Issues that we get are people transferring from one position to another one, and, things having to do with conflicts, confidentiality, who gets the file. Certainly call us. We have some ethics opinions that the Professional Ethics Commission has drafted there that are very helpful, because sometimes they can be all kinds of complex issues. So if people are in that situation and they have doubts about, who gets the file, am I conflicted out? Is my firm that I'm going to, or the organization I'm going to, somehow going to have a conflict? Please feel free to call us, because we're happy to help you with those questions. So I think those are kind of the big issues I wanted to bring up with people. I'm happy to answer any questions that anybody might have.
Thank you so much, Julia. It is all very useful and interesting. I haven't seen any questions come through in chat, so take the opportunity now, if you do have questions for Julia, to put them into the chat. Julia, let me just confirm, did I hear you say that almost 3,800 of a total of 5,200 are currently delinquent in reporting CLEs?
I just communicated with our CLE coordinator, and those were the numbers that I got. So I guess we sent out an email the last 2 Fridays and another reminder last Friday. As of last Thursday, we had 3,945 outstanding out of 5,219. So I think that, part of it might be that people are, going to take advantage of the extra time until April 30th to get more credits. And it could be that people are not understanding how to submit their credits. But, I do hope that people are aware of these deadlines, and that please, take advantage of the resources that are at the MSBA and the board to get your requirements completed.
Julia, what are the consequences if someone hits the April 30th, if it's May 1st and they have not completed CLE? What is their status?
Well, I think, I think we'll try to work with people. I mean, the way we view it here, regulation is not like we're trying to sort of trip people up, but you can become administratively suspended. So, and then you have to kind of unravel that. It's not, impossible or really tremendously burdensome, but it probably will cost you money. And it's best to actually just, get it done between now and April 30th.
And are people automatically administratively suspended as of May 1st? Or does that take some affirmative step and they would get some warning?
I think they might not get more warning. I mean, it's not automatic, because we have to check and see what's been submitted and everything. It isn't like we flip a switch and, people are suspended, but we do, what happens is we do, as with registration, just regular non-CLE registration, we generate a list of people who are not registered, and we submit it to the court because these people are administratively suspended. So, it's best to communicate with us. If you have any questions, call us and we'll work through it with you. We'll try to figure it out. More often than not, it's a question of not realizing the deadlines or not knowing how to submit credits or whatever it might be. But please call in advance and don't wait for the last minute.
Thank you, Julia. You've got two questions that have come in. Peter Bickerman has asked if you are exempt from CLE requirements because of age and seniority. Is it true that you do not need to report CLE hours?
Because there are different statuses that people can be in, I'm not going to give a broad answer, but I would say call our office, because we can have emeritus status and then we can have, inactive. So there are a variety of statuses. So if you don't think that you need to have CLE requirements, call and confirm.
All right, thank you. And when you have hit that submit button, do you get a confirmatory email?
What I believe you do, you will get your screen will then say thank you or something, thank you for submission. We will confirm your submission, kind of thing. But certainly if you wait, say the next day or whatever, your screen will then change and say that you have completed the submission process.
All right, so even if you don't get an email, logging back in should reflect your change status.
It should. It might not happen right away, but give it a day or something, and it
right.
should.
Well, Julia, thank you so much. Angela, I think that we should send out an email to all of our members. You and I can talk about this, saying, look, 75% of people are not logged in right now. And maybe we should even schedule a special 1-hour Zoom call, invite Julia back, and allow people to log on to ask, to say, hey, what's my status, and to make sure people have the opportunity who are scared of the, I'm scared of the website. And so anybody who's scared of the website can call in and try to get some help. Right. Julia, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time. Please feel free to stick around as we go through a couple of other pieces of information for our members.
Okay, well, thanks so much for having me. And again, people feel free to call us. We're here to help, as opposed to, trip people up. So call early and often. Thank you very much. Okay.
Call early and often. I love it. All right. So,
okay.
My favorite piece of information on this slide is our next bullet, which is the accelerated vaccine eligibility, ages 16 and above. I do fall in that age bracket, so I'm excited. I'm logging onto the various websites every 30 minutes, hoping I can find an appointment. So excited about that. Angela, over to you for MSBA details.
Okay, good morning, everybody. So Main Bar Connect, which a few weeks ago, Heather Seavey gave us all an update on right here on Bar Talk. It's our online community that at the time was only available to section and committee members, is now open to all members of the MSBA as of April 1st. And if you go to our website, there's a little button up in the right-hand corner that says ME Bar Connect, Main Bar Connect, and you can click on that. You'll need to sign into your account, and you can go in and your account already exists on Main Bar Connect, but if you have the desire to beef up your profile or whatever, you'll be able to do that at that time and do some searching around in there. Check it out. Let us know what you think. We're still looking for nominations for the Blue Award. You have another couple, this week and next week to get those in. Please do so. And you'll see that we have a lot of great upcoming guests for Bar Talk over the next few weeks. So we hope you'll be able to join us. And again, as Kelly always says, if you have any topic ideas for Bar Talk or guest ideas or practice tip ideas, please get in touch with us and we'll try to make that happen.
All right. Thank you so much, Angela. Well, for the practice tip, I'm super excited today to share a technology that I am really quite in love with. And it is a plugin for Outlook called SimpliFile. And SimpliFile is a way to manage email. And for those of you who have a couple of thousand messages in your email and you always get confused scrolling through trying to find that precise email, this is a system that allows you to quickly and easily file messages into other folders in Outlook. So within Outlook, you can actually set up folders. If I come over here, you can see here's my inbox. Here are a couple of folders. Actually, all of my folders are what are called public folders, which means that they are accessible to any other user of Outlook. So if I'm filing an email for a particular case, everybody else in the firm who wants to find an email relating to that case can go to that public folder and look for it. A folder in my inbox is not public. That's just for my eyes. You can use Simply File to file emails in either public or private folders. And the thing I love about it is how elegant it is. You'll see there's a couple of extra buttons up here. This is a Simply File menu. And you're in my Scout folder here, so you can't see any client confidential stuff. But let me just demonstrate how it works. We're talking about our Scout trailer because there's some confusion about where it's going to get parked. And so I'm going to hit forward on this, and here we go. I'm going to just forward this to myself, just so everybody else isn't confused. I'm going to hit send, and Simply File pops up this box in front of me, and it tries to predict which folder I'm going to want to file this message into. And you'll notice that it's highlighted the Scouts folder. It's done that because it's taking a look at who's receiving it and what the subject line is and where I filed other similar messages. So it uses some sort of magic AI to predict which folder an email is going to go into. And I tell you, this is correct 90% of the time. And then I've got it set up so when I hit enter, it does this option, send file and file original. So what's going to happen when I hit enter is that both this email I'm about to send and the email that I am forwarding or replying to are both going to be taken from my sent box and my inbox and put into the Scouts folder. So all I do is I hit send, I confirm that it's going to the correct folder, I hit enter, and boom, look, here it is. It pops up in the Scouts folder. This is magic. And so my actual inbox only has about 100 emails in it because I'm working through them. And as I work through them, I hit reply, I say thanks or give some sort of substantive response. When I hit send, it predicts which folder it goes into. I hit enter. Both those emails go into that folder. My inbox is smaller and stuff is correctly filed in a place where I and anybody else in my firm can find it. This costs like $50. It's a permanent license. It's awesome. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to share more about it. It's called Simply File. That's what I got. Hope that was interesting.
I might need it, Kelly. I think I have like 9,000 emails in my inbox.
Well, and one of the nice things you can do when you're stuck with that situation is you set it up, you tell it which folders to look in, and it'll scan through all those folders and figure out what emails you've already put into them and start building the algorithm. And then you can batch file. So you can highlight 9,000 emails and say, file all of these. And it'll think about all, this is going to take a while, obviously. It'll think about all of them. And then you go through the list and confirm they're all going to the right place, hit return, and it just magic.
You have a question. Does Simply File automatically move the emails from your sent box to your file folder, or does Simply File make a copy of the email?
You have a choice. I've got my preferences set up so that nothing goes into the sent box. And instead, the only place the sent is put is in the client folder. You can set it up so that a copy also goes into the sent box.
Well,
So-
Kelly, I think that goes into the wellness tip very well today, which is embrace technology to make your work life easier. So there you go. I might have to check it out. I do have one alibi before you move on, though, is I want to remind folks that you should have received an email requesting input for the Summer Bar Conference. We're looking for programming. Please take a few moments to write up a program, or if you know of a topic that you're interested in, we'd love to hear from you so that we can get the programming together for the Summer Bar Conference in late June.
Great point. And let me just quickly say, we have vacillated a little bit on the format of the Summer Bar Conference. I really, really wanted to do this in person. And after giving it a fair bit of thought and thinking about the potential financial risk to the association of scheduling something and then having to cancel it, and also thinking about, are people really going to want to see each other in person in June? We have decided to hold this as a virtual conference. We're shortening it. It's going to be a day and a half with the idea that everybody is so sick of Zoom. But we're going to do our best to offer some quality programming and give us a chance to see each other, at least in little boxes in the screen. And really looking forward to getting a chance to see everybody in person once that feels safe and appropriate to do. And then the gratitude is vaccines. Let's hear it for getting vaccines and being able to see each other in person and getting closer back to real life. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. I have Julia, thank you for being our guest speaker. You'll see on the slides, or you saw on the slides, some of our other guest speakers coming up. If you have ideas for guest speakers, let us know. I hope you all have a great week. See you next week.
Thank you. Thanks, Angela. Thanks, Kelly.